It's because they are all in cahoots together. The common man has joined the Republican Party. It doesn't matter. I don't know if they think that the American public is straight up stupid or what. Let's have a conversation. Okay, first off, when the light turns green, just everybody put your foot on the gas and everybody will move all at once. Praise Jesus that the criminals are out of the White House. I have a close personal friend who has a deep inside track to information. And I will tell you this. When those came out, we knew within 1 week that we were not putting that stuff in our system. We were getting information left and right about the dangers of those things. And the bad thing is, here's what the problem has been. You have a nation of people who know they live in the greatest nation in the world. And to live in the greatest nation in the world, you've got to have the greatest leaders in the world, right? Right. So no way we would have people in control of us, in control of this amazing country that have everything but good in mind for us. But that's not true. There is a group of people called that I don't know that everybody is aware of this, because even as we are ripping the criminals out of the control seat, nobody's talking about this still. We pay federal taxes, but because the federal government spends so much money, we don't have choice. And not just that, but it is a certain party's personal piggy bank, apparently. Okay, we talk about it at home. Just do something other than watch the same news station. If you're a liberal, be a liberal and be proud of it. But branch out for your health, for the health of your children, for the sake of your freedom, no matter what you believe it is. Don't listen to politicians. Branch out, do some research, look some things up. Don't bank on CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS. First of all, those are all politically owned, and if not owned, at least run news platforms. And if you are a Republican, it's Fox News, Next News, Sky News, because they actually tell you what is really going on, no matter how bad or good it is for anyone else. You can tell they favor Republican views, but they will tell the whole story. They won't lie to your face. I was watching CNN because I will branch out and watch it, because I want to hear what they're saying, and I want to know who the liars are. I was watching CNN, and literally all those newscasters were sitting around having a powwow because they were upset, and they were trying to sift through, what did we do wrong?
The regular old working class American, the anonymous American, they feel like they have been told to just shut up. We've been sitting around here for the last couple of weeks, and the story that was portrayed was not true.
And they came to the conclusion they forgot to listen to the public. They forgot to listen to our problems. They were ignoring the fact that we're going, you're lying to us, and we know you are. And they didn't believe that's not really a thing. It doesn't matter. If we keep repeating it, it will become true. Well, you know what? That is called propaganda. Invented so that you publish something in the news, and politicians are very familiar with this. They know if they create a piece of news and repeat it enough times, people will begin to believe it. So you have to guard yourself against that. Now, President Trump, praise the Lord, all the stuff he's doing, I haven't heard anyone say, I have heard all the stuff about Yeah, the regime, shut down fracking, which killed so many jobs and our ability to be, free of Middle Eastern countries who charge us whatever they want to. But do you realize why that is? He didn't just shut it down because he's all about the green. It's because they are all in cahoots together. They charge us out the butt on our taxes. We pay like nobody's beeswax. We dread it every year. I haven't had a return in I don't know how long. I'm always paying money, more money, more money. And you ever notice who's always talking about the daggone taxes? And who should be paying the taxes? Who's going to pay the taxes? Who can we raise taxes on? Think about it. And it doesn't matter how the common man has joined the Republican Party. It doesn't matter. The Democrats are still talking about how the Republican Party is about the wealthy. I don't know if they think that the American public is straight up stupid or what. I am telling you what, all the stuff that is going on, from what I understand, and this crossed my mind when I heard about the land that was discovered, the bazillions of acres discovered and hidden in all the research and this is why the people who are freaking out. I mean, who would freak out over let's fix our deficit? It is not because people hate Donald Trump. I mean, they do, but the reason they hate him is because he loves this country so much. He doesn't even care if his life is in danger. He's going to go in and figure it out. And you know what? He needed that 4 years so that he could go back in wiser. He needed, you think about the story of Joseph in the Bible. He was in prison. I think it was for 12, 13 years. He was in prison for so long. Well, sometimes you have to have all the bad to toughen your skin for all the good. Donald Trump needed this molding. Now, let me tell you something. I don't care who our president is. I am being straight about who's acting like what, who is doing what. And if you open your eyes and quit being so upset about what you may or may not have because who is or is not in power, and think about the fact that your life is going to be better, and please, oh my gosh, please, people, campaign for your wants, your needs, your hopes, and your wishes and your dreams. That is what America is about. But while you're doing it, allow your fellow man to do the same thing. Go get what you're looking for. Go find it. Go try to get it. Do it the right way. Don't infringe on other people's rights to get it done. And you know what? If it starts to happen again, because it's not, what comes around goes around, history repeats itself, it's going to happen again at some point, because we are headed to the end times. And it is biblical that there will be a one world government, so the globalists in the end are going to have their way. They just don't get to have it right now. They are trying to speed it along. They're trying to speed along prophecy. Don't know why, because that just means end times, and Satan gets to be locked up for a long time and then thrown in the pit of fire for all of eternity. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like Paul says, absent from the body, present with the Lord. So, I mean, let it come. Get right with the Lord. Get right with Jesus. If you don't know Jesus, think about doing some research on that. Even more so than all this crazy crap that doesn't even matter. Forget about all this stuff. It will work itself out. And especially now that there are some people that care about our lives. You know what? Do you know, if you look up some of the quotes Kamala Harris, for example, she used to say a thing, and it turns out it is a Marxist quote. And just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean you're a socialist. It just means something has changed and you aren't aware. If you don't want in the United States, if you're not interested in a where they're all rich and everybody else is supposed to be equal, but it's been proven over and over that does not work. Communists are all rich and everybody else, is supposed to be equal, but it's been proven over and over that does not work. It just doesn't work. And all the same, just because you're a Republican, it doesn't necessarily mean that things are fine and dandy for you, that you got all the best people in there, because there are some Republican people in Congress, rhinos, that are just as we have a Kentucky senator, that doesn't seem to have it all together. Kentucky, Mitch McConnell. Do you know why Mitch McConnell continues to be elected? And I am guilty of this. If I had thought about it, there is no way that man would have gotten my vote. Because he has got Republican skin on, Republican clothes. He goes to Republican meetings. He's a mole. He is not a Republican. He votes against everything that the Republican Party is trying to do. Mitch McConnell continues to be elected, not because Kentuckians love Mitch McConnell. Some people, it's a familiar name. You go to the polls and you just, oh, Mitch McConnell, I've heard that 100 times. He clearly, he knows what he's doing because he's been there for a long time. But they don't really know what's going on. The other reason, and this midterm, it's because we go in to the voting booth, to the polls, and go Republican. We have got to weed out the daggone rhinos. And I think it's all going to come to light. We're all going to know who they are. All this money finding and laundering and all that makes the people who make $100,000 a year somehow have $10 million in the bank after they go to work for the federal government. It's money laundering. So I am a Christian, and I'll preach all day long, and I've got opinions. And if you want to hear mine, watch my videos. If you don't want to hear my opinion, don't watch my videos. But I can promise you, I would never insist, demand, campaign that there is a law that you must be a Christian, that you must have my views, because that is on you. That's not on me. And what you do does not affect me, my opinion, my salvation. It doesn't affect any of that. And I don't care if you, whatever, just quit trying to make laws. Saying things like we have to use language that we don't want to use. We have to do things we don't want to do. And you know what? Half that stuff, it was a smoke screen so that the could do their thing, could steal our money, could build an empire and do a real quick switch on us before we even know it. It would happen before we know it because they have so much crap going on. That whole thing, people coming over the border, the last people running the government, it was an organized event. And it was advertised, bringing as many people up here as they could. And that whole thing about don't show an ID, they want it to be a law that you don't have to show an ID. 100%, all of that was to attempt to get people over the border that would vote for them. They knew that if they had to show their ID, they couldn't get the votes this term, and they're too impatient to continue to wait and be as sly as they've been for a long time. But praise Jesus, that is over, because America we wouldn't have made it. Once you get enough things going on and enough people in control, and spend enough time, enough years strategically placing judges here, and and don't think they aren't don't think that the criminals are not currently planning. They are. They're always planning, because they're not going to stop. And like I said, it's biblical. Anyway, there you have it. I am so freaking thrilled about everything that has been discovered today.